Imagine receiving a call from your loved one, their voice trembling, begging for money or help. The voice is unmistakably theirs. You act without hesitation, only to realize later, it wasn't them at all. Welcome to the terrifying new world of AI-powered voice cloning scams. The rapid evolution of artificial intelligence is reshaping our world in extraordinary ways. While AI has revolutionized industries, transformed healthcare, and enhanced our daily lives, it's also opening the door to an unsettling future in crime. One of the most alarming trends? Voice cloning scams. This isn't science fiction anymore. Criminals are leveraging advanced AI tools to replicate voices with uncanny accuracy. Today, we'll uncover how this technology works, explore real-world cases of voice cloning scams, and dive into the chilling implications for society. And if you're intrigued by how technology is driving the future of crime, subscribe to Future of Crime and hit the bell icon, go-to channel for exploring the dark side of innovation. Voice cloning is the process of using AI to replicate a person's voice. Tools like deep learning algorithms and generative adversarial networks, GANs, analyze recordings of someone's speech to mimic their tone, pitch, and unique vocal nuances. And what's shocking is how easy it's become. Earlier, creating a convincing voice clone required hours of high-quality audio. Now, AI tools like ElevenLabs or Respeecher can produce realistic clones with just a few seconds of recorded audio. This technology isn't inherently malicious. Voice cloning has legitimate uses in entertainment, customer service, and accessibility. But, as with most technologies, criminals have found ways to exploit it. The chilling reality of voice cloning scams has been unveiled through a series of shocking real-world incidents that underscore just how vulnerable individuals and organizations are to this modern crime. 1. The CEO scam. In 2019, a major European company fell victim to a high-stakes scam that cost them over $243,000. The perpetrators used AI to clone the voice of the company's CEO. The scam began with a call to the financial director, where the CEO urgently requested a wire transfer to a Hungarian supplier. The voice was uncannily accurate, capturing not only the CEO's accent, but also his speaking style and cadence. Believing the request to be legitimate, the director complied. It was only after the transfer that the company discovered the horrifying truth. Their CEO had never made the call. 2. The grandparent scam. A more emotionally devastating case occurred in the United States. Criminals targeted an elderly woman in Arizona, cloning her grandson's voice. Posing as the grandson, the scammers fabricated a story that he had been arrested and urgently needed $21,000 for bail. The voice was so convincing, full of distress and panic, that she didn't think twice before transferring the money. Days later, she learned that her grandson had been safe at home the entire time. 3. The political sabotage incident. Voice cloning scams have also been used to disrupt politics. During a European election campaign, deepfake audio recordings were circulated, mimicking a candidate making inflammatory statements. While no financial loss was involved, the damage to public trust and the candidate's reputation was immense. These cases illustrate how voice cloning is no longer just a technological marvel. It's a weapon that manipulates trust, exploits emotions, and undermines societal norms. Victims are left shocked, not just by the crime, but by the terrifying realization of how easily technology can be abused. Voice cloning scams are just the beginning. Criminals are now combining voice cloning with other AI technologies to orchestrate increasingly sophisticated schemes. AI-assisted phishing, traditional phishing emails are being replaced by AI-generated calls that sound authentic. Imagine receiving a personalized call from your bank with your manager's exact voice asking you to confirm sensitive information. Deepfake synergy. Voice cloning paired with deepfake videos is creating fake video calls. This can be used to impersonate someone on Zoom or FaceTime, further convincing victims that they're speaking to a trusted individual. Cyber extortion. Hackers are stealing voice data from social media and voicemail to clone voices. They then threaten to release fabricated conversations unless victims pay hefty ransoms. Corporate espionage. Fraudsters are impersonating executives to extract trade secrets, sign fake contracts, or disrupt business operations. Voice cloning scams are alarmingly effective because they exploit deep-seated human instincts and psychological vulnerabilities, leveraging the realism of AI technology to deceive victims. Here's why these scams are so successful. Item 1. Emotional manipulation. Humans are hardwired to respond emotionally to familiar voices. When a scammer uses a cloned voice to mimic a loved one in distress, it triggers immediate fear and panic. The victim's emotional state overrides logical thinking, making them act impulsively. For instance, receiving a call from what sounds like your child crying for help is enough to make anyone transfer money without verifying the situation. 2. Exploiting trust and familiarity. A person's voice is a deeply personal identifier. We associate voices with trust and authenticity. If someone calls you sounding exactly like a close friend, relative, or superior, you are less likely to question their intentions. Scammers capitalize on this blind trust to manipulate their targets effectively. 3. Authority bias. Scammers often impersonate figures of authority, such as CEOs, police officers, or bank managers. People tend to obey instructions from perceived authority figures without questioning them. A cloned voice of your boss requesting an urgent fund transfer creates an immediate sense of responsibility, leaving little room for doubt. 4. Technological illiteracy. Most people don't fully understand the capabilities of modern AI, leaving them unaware that voice cloning is possible. This lack of awareness makes victims more likely to believe what they hear, as they assume such scams are implausible or beyond technological reach. 5. Hyper-realistic technology. AI-generated voices today are nearly indistinguishable from real ones. They can replicate not just tone and pitch, but also speech patterns, pauses, and emotional nuances. This realism blurs the line between human and machine, making it harder to detect deception. By combining emotional triggers, psychological manipulation, and cutting-edge technology, voice cloning scams create a perfect storm of trust and deceit, leaving victims vulnerable and often devastated. Voice cloning scams are not just a passing trend, they are a clear indication of how rapidly AI is transforming the landscape of crime and society as a whole. While individual cases of fraud and deception are concerning, the broader implications of this technology are far more alarming. One of the most significant risks posed by voice cloning is the erosion of trust. Trust is the foundation of human relationships, whether personal, professional, or institutional. In a world where even a loved one's voice can be faked, our ability to trust the people around us is compromised. Imagine a scenario where you can't differentiate between a genuine call from a family member and a scam. It isn't just about money. It's about security, emotional well-being, and even national security. When the line between truth and deception is blurred, it shakes the very core of our interactions. This erosion of trust extends to institutions and governments. Scammers impersonating high-ranking officials or CEOs are not just after financial gain. They are exploiting the very structure that holds organizations together. For instance, a phone call from an executive asking for a large sum of money might not seem suspicious in the moment. But if these techniques were to be scaled, they could potentially lead to massive financial fraud or, worse, compromise corporate or national security. This threat of cyber espionage is more real than ever, where voice cloning is the latest tool in a hacker's arsenal to extract sensitive information, manipulate business decisions, or even trigger financial collapse. In essence, the ramifications of voice cloning scams are much larger than isolated crimes. They represent a fundamental shift in how technology can manipulate reality, and how we, as a society, need to adapt to survive in this new world. While the rise of voice cloning scams presents a significant challenge, there are concrete steps we can take to mitigate the risks and protect ourselves from becoming victims of these crimes. The solution lies in a combination of personal vigilance, technological advancements, and institutional accountability. 1. Raising awareness and education. The most effective defense against voice cloning scams is awareness. People must understand that voice cloning is not just a hypothetical scenario, it is happening right now. This means educating the public on how these scams operate, how to spot red flags, and what steps to take if they suspect a scam. Awareness campaigns should emphasize the importance of verifying suspicious calls and communications. For example, if someone receives a call from a loved one asking for money or urgent help, they should hang up and call back through a verified number. Educational programs in schools and workplaces could also teach individuals how to protect their personal information from being used for malicious purposes. 2. Implementing stronger authentication systems. Voice alone is no longer a secure means of verification. To combat voice cloning, institutions like banks, corporations, and governments must implement multi-factor authentication systems, MFA. These systems could involve a combination of voice recognition, passwords, biometric data, like fingerprints or facial recognition, and security questions. In some high-risk sectors, an additional step, such as sending a confirmation code via text or email, can further protect against unauthorized transactions. The rise of voice cloning scams is a wake-up call. It's a glimpse into a future where technology isn't just a tool for progress, but a double-edged sword that criminals are wielding with precision. As AI continues to evolve, so will the methods of crime. It's up to us, as individuals, communities, and societies, to stay informed, stay vigilant, and demand safeguards against these threats. For more deep dives into the future of crime and technology, subscribe to Future of Crime and hit the bell icon. Together we'll uncover how innovation is reshaping the dark side of humanity and how we can fight back.